kick me when we're ready. We all broke apart. Your neighbor.
They were his, but he moved away.
He's smart. He moved away.
You good?
I'd like to call a meeting to order. Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you. Madam Town Clerk, could we have a roll call, please?
You sure may. Good evening, everyone. Councilmember Kelly.
Present.
Councilmember Turner.
Here.
Councilmember Perkins.
Here.
Councilmember Mendoza.
Here.
Councilmember Best.
Here.
Vice Mayor Miller.
Here.
And Mayor Croft.
Here, thank you. Presentation and update by Deborah Miller, Community Relations Project Manager with ADOT regarding traffic signal at Road 1 North, State Route 89 intersection and public outreach efforts. Deborah, welcome.
Welcome, thank you. I need a soapbox to stand on so you can see me.
We've been waiting for this stoplight for a long time.
Yes, and I appreciate you inviting us here this evening to speak with you about the updates on the traffic signal. I first want to begin by introducing myself. I'm Deborah Miller, the Community Relations Project Manager for the Northwest District Yavapai. And I want to send apologies from our Northwest District Engineer, Alvin Stump. He was going to attend to present, and then his wife said, no, you need to come with me, and to keep harmony in the home, he went with his wife. So I don't blame him. First, I'd like to give you just a brief overview about what the actual project is. Then we'll go into some project updates on it, and I'll have John Latier, our Northwest Development Engineer on this project, get further into it and answer questions specifically to what's happening. This project is a new traffic signal, and traffic detention sensors will be installed at the State Route 89 and Road 1 North intersection. ADOT will install a right turn lane on northbound State Route 89 to East Road 1 North, and construct left turn lanes and a widening of SR 89 at Road 1 North. The purpose of the project is to relieve the traffic congestion at the intersection and to improve the turning movements onto State Route 89. Next slide, please. I'm going to briefly talk about where we've been with our community outreach on the project. Last year, we had in this chamber some meetings with the business stakeholders along the route and within the Road 1 North area. Met with them to give them some information about where they are in the planning stages, to get their input, to provide them information about right-of-way acquisition. Coming forward into May, June of this year, we will again go to the public with an informational open house, and that meeting will be open to the public. We will have it advertised in the paper, in the communities, here at the council, and in the library, so that the community can come in, get a look better at detailed maps, and specifically talk to members of the ADOT staff and other members who will be involved from SIMPO and from the town regarding this, and get specific questions. So those are the two big outreach that we've done just this year, and that's coming. And I'm going to turn over so you can get more of this project status update from John Latera.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening, John.
You can see a few bullet points up on the screen there. The design right now is currently at 95%. A little bit beyond that, we're getting into the very final stages of design, which means right now we're working with the utility companies and with our right-of-way group to acquire the right-of-way that's needed for the project. And those two activities are happening simultaneously. We're expecting the right-of-way clearance to happen by the end of March, and at that time, we're expecting utility relocations to start. So you could see some activity here in the spring. with some of the utilities. One of the issues that we're working with right now is coordinating the APS overhead relocations. They have a high-powered line out there, and it's taking a little bit of work getting that organized. The current estimate for the project right now is a little bit over $1 million, and as Deborah said, it's a joint partnership between ADOT, Chino Valley, Yavapai County, and SIMPO for that funding. The target right now is to advertise the project for construction in the middle of June. We're hoping to get all the clearances taken care of prior to that so that we can get the project advertised. And that could mean that construction could start as soon as October. So we're looking at something maybe fall time of 2020. The issue that we're having with the APS utility relocates may slide that out a few months, but we're looking at getting something started this coming fall, winter time frame. A couple items I wanted to point. A couple things I wanted to point out would be some traffic impacts that the town can expect during construction. The majority of the work is going to happen on State Route 89A and a little bit on the side road on Road 1 North. There's a map here up on the screen. You'll see the majority of the work and some grading on the east and west legs of Road 1 North, while there will be a little bit of work on State Route 89A, primarily to widen State Route 89A to provide a northbound right turn lane onto Road 1 North. 89. I'm sorry, 89. I'm reading my own notes here, I'm sorry. So a couple of the things that we're requiring in the contract is that there would be no daytime lane closures on State Route 89 just due to the traffic volumes. So there will be some intermittent night work required. And then if you look at the work on Road 1 North on the east and west legs on Road 1 North, because of the magnitude of work there would be required some intermittent closures on Road 1 North. The time frame of those closures could be anywhere from a few days to a week or so during those times. And one of the things that we've set the project up to do is to make sure that access to the businesses is maintained throughout the construction. Even though there would be some of those closures, the access to businesses would be maintained. One of the items that has come up here recently is in the late stages of the project. One of the things we're working on coordinating is the city of Prescott has added a project to construct a right turn lane immediately east of this project on Road 1 North to their well site. They have a project to expand their well site. They need to improve the access. Oh, is that working? Turn it. Oh, there we are.
That might help you.
Oh, thank you. So that access to the city well property is right here. Just east of the limits of the project. And that project is at 90% in their design. The majority of their work is going to be on the property itself. The city owns a well site right in this area here. It's just outside the view, their existing well and tanks, and they're going to be expanding that. So they want to improve their access off Road 1 North. So we're in the process of coordinating our project with theirs so that hopefully there can be just one construction project and not two separate projects. We want to try to get those to work together. So we're working on getting those limits, the paving limits, and the work that's going to be required, and we're coordinating that with all the utility relocations that I mentioned earlier. Do you want to mention the?
Thank you, Jen. This is the information for your use of how to stay updated when we start the project and prior to the project. On the project updates, that's the actual, if you go to ADOT government webpage under Northwest District Projects. This is the website. On that website will be, once we have an open house planned, it will be put there. Once the open house is completed, any information that was provided at the open house will be available to the public on that. And because it is an ADOT project taking federal funds, we will have a 30-day comment period. And on that website, if people want to have access to making comments or from the open house itself, they can put comments. And then below that is the traffic alerts. Now, this is the current, if you have any information that you're looking for travel, that's that AZ511. And additionally, if there is any construction occurring on this project, once we start, that's where it will be located. I would also encourage you to sign up for our Gov Delivery or our traffic alerts that come directly to your email, and those will be specific to what you ask for. You can go to our ADOT website. On the left-hand side is a little subscribe button. You click on that, put in your email, and then you can tell us, I want information about any traffic that is going to be impeded construction-wise, crack seal, anything that's happening, and you can tell us which roadways you want to be informed about. So as soon as I get that information and publish it, it will come immediately to your website. And then John can answer questions if you have any.
Questions?
I just had one. It was talked about earlier on, and I'm just wondering, is part of this project include a right turn only out of the medical center by chance?
A right turn only out of the medical center, I don't think that does. Can we go back to the view here?
You'd be down on the highway, down.
Right in this area here?
That has been a problem with people turning left out of there and trying to get into traffic, all along. And so I had brought it up before, and I just wondered if it had gone anywhere.
Well, I think we've talked about that with our regional traffic engineer, and we've considered posting a sign there right now to restrict the left turns. But we're expecting to evaluate that once the signal goes in to see if that helps improve sometimes the traffic signal will allow additional gaps in traffic. So we'll evaluate that for sure once the signal gets installed.
Okay, thank you.
That's a good question.
If I can,
Questions on this?
I'm good.
Can I maybe just add one thing? Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Good.
Sorry,
I was just going to say thank you because I've been looking forward to this project being done. But then, go ahead.
sorry for butting in. I just wanted to point out one thing as it relates. I think council might know this, but it might help the public. We've had some comments on our Road 1 North project. Why didn't we go to the end? And with ADOT's exhibit here, if you see this black line, that's their project limits for the pavement work they're going to do with this project. So the town project started right here at this line, so it'll match with theirs. We didn't go all the way to this intersection because we didn't want to waste that money for that pavement. Yeah. And this is a good time and place to show how those two projects are going to meet up. So I just wanted to point that out. Thanks.
Okay.
Thank you.
None? John and Deborah, thank you very much for coming and doing the presentation.
Absolutely. Thank you for having us, and please feel free to reach out to us if you need additional information or have questions that we haven't answered here tonight.
Okay.
Right,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks a
Thank
lot.
you.
Item B, presentation of artist rendering of the 9/11 memorial upgrades at the shooting range. Madam Town Manager.
My name's on there, but this is really Chief Wynn's project, so.
Oh, you're shoving it off to the chief, huh?
I can stand here and hold it.
Tailgating.
You're tailgating.
Mayor and Manager, I know there's been a lot of talk in the community, and you've probably heard that we're working towards improving our 9/11 monument that's at the entrance to the range. And I can't take any credit. Mr. Holt's been kind of heading that up. And Celia Vandermolden, who you remember did some work for the town, is donating her services to do the architectural design for us. So I'm just going to turn it over to Mr. Holt and let him explain where we're at and kind of where we're going.
Okay, if we get the slides open. This is what the range, or what the memorial looked at when I was out there on 9/11 of last year. You can see it's kind of overgrown and ugly. And then in October, after we spoke, we had a community work day out there, and that's slide number 2. Doesn't want to talk to us. There we go, and you can see there's no weeds, it's cleaned up, it's really looking a lot better. And so we started looking at how we can raise some funds to do all what we want to do, which is quite a bit, and that'll come up on the next one. And what we came up with is we're selling memorial bricks. They're going through the police foundation, and each brick will be used to initially pave the way into the memorial itself. Then after we sell enough to pave that, we will start going all the way around the memorial. And if we can bring up slide 3 now, we'll show you what our rendering of what we're going to look like. The lower left is what we hope to look like when it's completed. The 3 panels in the back will each denote where one of the planes fell. The flags will be up. The plaque will go to the center, and the benches will be going around it. We already have a donation of 2 of the benches from Ace Hardware, so that's our start on those. And we've already had several of the brick orders. We've had brick orders as far away as Sandpoint, Idaho, and places in California so far. So, and we haven't advertised yet. So now we're hoping to get the word out to the community. We just wanted to bring it to you, give you an update of where we're going with it. So far, we're doing pretty darn good. And the goal is to have it ready for the 20th anniversary rededication in 2021.
How do we buy a brick and how
I've
much do they
I've
cost?
got order forms. Trust me, I have order forms.
How much are
Regina-
the bricks?
Pardon me?
How much are the bricks?
The bricks are $75 each. That's engraved, including the brick and everything. We ran into a little problem because we were hoping Yavapai would be able to do them all, and the engraver's having some problems with their bricks right now. So we're probably going to have to order them out of Tucson, which doesn't hurt us because it doesn't drive our price up, but it drives his price up. But he's a retired fireman from Phoenix, so he's donating a lot of his time and effort into it too. Regina Pecoraro from Compass Training is here with me. She and John are my partners on this, and slowly but surely it's getting done. Just don't look for anything major in the weather right now. As soon as the weather calms down, then we're going to start grading all the old rock away, cleaning the path for the original pavers to go in, and the first order of pavers will be going in next week. So,
And who has the forms? I know
do.
I have
I'll
some.
give you a whole stack of them before we leave tonight.
Okay,
That'd be great.
good. We'll put them in the library and
Town hall.
out here in town hall.
Great. We'll get some more pictures of we've got the pictures on there, so we can always print those out and put them up with them. Contact right now is primarily me, Larry Holt. You can reach me on phone at 805-462-1996, or you can email me at Holtz, H-O-L-T-S, rods at sbcglobal.net.
Thank you.
Thank you, Larry.
Regina? Thank you.
Yes, all the donations are going to be run through Chino Valley's Police Foundation. They had a turnover in their accounting stuff, so it's taking a little while to get checks cashed. And if you do it on a credit card, it might take a little longer because they're having to reset up their PayPal account. But they're going to handle everything. They'll send out the receipts for all the donations on it and everything else, so it stays tax-free. No town dollars are going into this project. This is all being done through volunteers. And when they did that cleanup, that was all volunteers, including 2 young men from Paulden who stayed out there all day working their tail off. So it was really kind of nice to see 2 young school kids out there working alongside everybody. So I thank you for the opportunity to do this.
This is a given community, and hope we'll all chip in and help a little bit. Thank
Yep.
you. Thank you for what you're doing. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay. C, presentation by Lorette Brashear, Director, Chino Valley Area Chamber of Commerce regarding business of the quarter, Chino Valley Job Fair, and quarterly report to the council. So I'm going to see a whole bunch of people from the Chamber of Commerce.
I know.
You need to introduce your folks there, Lorette.
I definitely will. Good evening, Mayor and Town Council. We have first off, what I'm going to do is introduce Dr. Carla Phillips, who's our board chair, and she'll be doing the award presentation.
Okay, and I'd also like to introduce the board members that have come this evening. We have Rhonda Smith, who is the chair-elect. We have Kay Jones, I know that, who is our advisory member. She has a lot of history, and she's still there to help keep us up to date on everything that has been going on in the board. And then we have Wendy McManigal, do I say that right? Who was our past chair. And historically, the chamber used to recognize a chamber member, a business, and give an award, either monthly or quarterly. And now we're doing something a little different. We're partnering with the town, and we're recognizing a business that has been a very strong contributor into the community, regardless of chamber membership, so that we can just recognize our strong businesses. So tonight, we want to call up Olson's Grain. I see them all sitting in the back there. Have them come on all up, and I don't know if we can get everyone out in front there to do the award instead of standing back behind here. So why don't we all get out here? Michelle, you kids go to the Oh, great. Do you mind introducing everyone from Olson's Grain here?
So I'm Michelle Gronick. I'm the CEO and CFO of Olson's. I have with me here Kathy Barnes. She is our store manager at the Chino Valley location. We have Mike Olson, who is one of the owners, and we have Joram Robs, our marketing manager.
Thank you, and I think we all know that Olson's is practically a landmark in this community. I mean, they're part of our family. They have provided caring support for our livestock, our families, our pets, and who doesn't know the Olsons and who doesn't love what you bring to the community? So we're recognizing you tonight with this Chino Valley Business of the Quarter. This is the first Business of the Quarter that we're giving with the town and the chamber, and we really appreciate Olson's in our community, and congratulations on your award.
Thank you, and we appreciate the award very much. For those of you who might not know, we're in our 41st year of business in Chino Valley. We started in 1979. Okay. And these people here are the future of this company. Myself as an owner and my partners are trying to cut back and do less, and these guys are doing more, and they're doing a great job, so I want to give them all the credit. Thank you.
To say that our mayor, Darrell Croft, is also on the board of directors for the Chamber of Commerce. We want to make sure we include him.
Thank you. We didn't mean to ignore you.
Okay, so next up on the Chamber's agenda is I have Catherine Anderson here tonight to give a report on the Chino Valley Job Fair.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I am Catherine Anderson, and I am with the Yavapai College Regional Economic Development Center. And I just want to give you a little update on the job fair that we're working with Lorette to put together. The Chino Valley Job Fair is going to be held February 21st at the Chino Valley High School. It's going to run from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. and we're having early admission at 10:30 for our veterans, our job seekers 55 and older, and for those with disabilities. Right now we have 44 companies that have signed up. Last year we had 55 companies in attendance, and we still have time. Companies have until February 7th to register. And it does only cost $65, so if you know anybody that is in need of employees, it's not too late. And just to give an idea how successful this can be, last year we had 231 people that attended the job fair, And we know of 32 people that got a job as a result. That's just what we know about. We know that a lot more people do walk away with employment, but those are just the numbers that are reported back to us. And in preparation for the job fair, on Tuesday, February 18th, from 3 p.m. to 4:30 p.m., our partners at Arizona at Work are putting together a job fair preparation class. This is going to teach job fair, resume, interview, and job search skills. Everything to get our job seekers prepared for the job fair. And all information about the job fair, including the application for businesses to sign up, the class that I just talked about, and the list of businesses that are participating, along with positions that they are hiring for, can be found at the website yc.edu/jobfair. And if you have any questions, just let me know.
Thank you.
Thank
you
you.
very much.
Thank you.
We look forward to the job fair. It always draws a lot of people.
Yes, and I remember you were there last year as well. Oh, yes, and Lorette wants me to throw out the burritos. For any businesses that are interested, you get fed lunch, and the burritos are awesome. Little plug for Sodexo over at the high school.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. I'm here tonight to give you a report on what's been happening at the Chamber, what's been going on. It's been a year now that we've last spoken, so I just kind of wanted to give you a little bit of an update of what's been happening. The Chamber membership has approximately, right now, 260 members. We are averaging around 4 to 5 new members a month. We're also bringing in members who have not been Chamber members for years and are now coming back. So that's a really big thing. We started a Chamber podcast in conjunction with the town of Chino Valley, and that started last April. So we're doing really great on a Chamber podcast. We also have started in November a YouTube channel where we're doing small commercials for businesses. And so we launched that on Small Business Saturday. We also have a new Chamber website that is up and coming, and it is scheduled to launch next month in February. We're really excited. We've been working hard on that one. Also, we noticed that the ambassador program had been extinct. The ambassador program had just gone away. So we brought it back. And this was our first year. We just brought it back. Last week we had our first meeting. We had 17 new ambassadors come to that meeting. So that's a really big thing for us. We have an ambassador chair as well. So he's heading it up, Brian Sebring, and that's been a great help too. And so he's a young guy heading it up. Some of the new events that we've started within the past year is we have women in business, but we also started men in business. We understand that men network completely different from women. Women are more the types that like to go out and have lunch and a PowerPoint. Men like to go to the gun range and shoot guns. And so we've done, through partnerships, we've done different men in business. We've also done one at the Chino Valley Golf Range as well. So those are quarterly. Another thing that's scheduled for the first time will be this June. We're going to do a family mixer night. So we're going to start including families as well. So we're going to launch that and see how that goes. I've been doing chamber road trips. So we just finished a road trip. We were in Cottonwood and we went to Verde Valley as well. And just learning how they do things, seeing ideas, how they work with the town, looking at their town contracts, and what events are successful in their area. So we've been kind of just starting that up, and our next one is scheduled for Payson Chamber of Commerce. She is a one-woman show as well, but they have a great volunteer program, and so we're just looking to get ideas and kind of figuring out what they're doing good. With that segues into our new Community Volunteer Program Manager. We just hired Stephen Mize, and he's here tonight, and I would like to introduce Stephen.
Good evening, Mayor and Council.
Good evening.
Again, my name's Stephen Mize. I'm the newest Community Volunteer Program Manager. Oh, sure. Sorry. I'm the new Community Volunteer Program Manager. I'm pleased to report that our volunteer database has risen to 49 from 42 this time last year. So we are increasing our volunteer base. My main objectives will be engaging with local businesses and community partners that are in need of volunteers and coordinating with our volunteers to place them in the right spots. Also, with the primary focus on recruiting new volunteers, we'd obviously like to get that number as high as possible. And to do that, we're very much looking forward to the Chino Valley Job Fair on the 21st of February, where we will have a booth there, as well as the Quad Cities High School Volunteer Fair on the 2nd of May. And so we look forward to taking that number of 49 up to as high as we can get it. And also I encourage any local businesses who are in need of volunteers, or anybody who is looking to volunteer, to get a hold of us at the chamber, and we'll be glad to assist them. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Do you all have any questions?
Questions?
No.
Questions?
I have one. Is the website address going to be the same?
Yes,
When
the
you launch it?
website
Okay.
address will be the same.
All right.
Which is?
All right,
Thank
thanks.
you, Lloyd.
ChinoValley.org.
Thank you very much, Lorette.
Thank you.
And your staff for the good work that you do. Okay. Let's go to call to the public. Call to the public is an opportunity for the public to address the council on any issue within the jurisdiction of the council that is not on the agenda. Public comment is encouraged. Individuals are limited to speak for 3 minutes. Total time for call to the public may be up to 30 minutes per meeting. Council action taken as a result of public comment will be limited to directing staff to study the matter, scheduling the matter for further consideration and decision at a later date, or responding to criticism. Do I have a speak? Are you going to come right on down? Tell us who you are, and you're speaking for a lot of the people. I know. And you say you have 2.5 minutes, right?
That's what I'm promising.
Okay.
Thank you, Mayor. Mr. Mayor, members of the council, my name is Jean McFadden, and I live on Grove, and we are delighted with the coming stoplight. My neighbors and I have protested the building of Brook Apartments for close to 2 years now. Thank you for listening one more time. This all started in May of 1996, when the town of Chino Valley granted right-of-way from Road 2 North to Matthew and Rebecca Bates to their parcel, which is 306-23024. Subsequently, in August of 2006, a conditional use permit was granted the Bates for the operation of an assisted living care facility in the MR1 zoning district. The usual stipulations were applied, not to prove detrimental to the existing residency and to the general welfare of the town of Chino Valley. Here's an interesting point. By 2006, Grove Lane was built. In September of 2006, the Bates sold off what became Parcel A to a Mike Lemons, who I believe eventually sold to Christine Foley. I'm not sure of that. In December of 2007, the Bates conveyed the subdivided section of the original parcel, now called 306-23024C, to the Brook Assisted Living LLC in a warranty deed. I'm the first to admit that I do not understand law, real estate law, or their terms, and I might not have all the relevant documents. So here are my questions, and there are only 3. The conditional use permit, Ordinance 06669, was established in 2006 and had a 10-year limit on it, which would have expired in 2016. Did it? The warranty deed that was conveyed by the Bates to the LLC in 2007 states that all conditions would apply to the deed as recorded. Was the conditional use permit a part of that? If so, did it expire in 2017? We are asking the Town of Chino Valley Development Services Director and the Planning and Zoning Commission to help us find out if all of the documents related to what became the Brook Apartments have been satisfied. In the end, if these apartments, some or all of them, are built, what will Chino Valley look like? Will it resemble the plan, the general plan as it is outlined? For Grove Lane and surrounding neighborhoods, the answer is no. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Anyone else that'd like to speak? Mr. Holt?
I was hoping I'd never have to address this issue again, but
Well, we are too, but.
yeah, I just wanted to bring up one thing. I looked up the website for Brook Apartments. Apparently, they're going forward with 100 units or 98 units, but they're advertising 133. Second time in a row they've put false information out. This whole plan looks like a bait and switch to me. They've also moved all the property lines so they can subdivide the property and come in later and build more apartments. Okay, I've heard that you can't stop them if they meet everything, but actually there is an issue here. That issue is public safety. They're looking at 3-story buildings again, and as we all know, we heard it last time, we don't have a fire apparatus for 3 stories. Yes, Central Arizona Fire does. It's in Prescott. A Code 3 run from Robert Road Station is going to be 25 minutes. Do you want to be on the 3rd story of an apartment building with smoke for 25 minutes waiting for them to get there and vent the ceiling and let that smoke out? I don't. Finally, I'm a taxpayer in this town. And there's a thing, my experience in law enforcement, and I only did 32 years and 12 of those was as a chief, and I've been sued a few times. There's a little thing out there called deliberate indifference. We all know that this isn't a good plan. We all know it's not a safe plan. If we allow it to go forward, the town can be held liable at some point, and I sure as heck don't want to foot that kind of a lawsuit. So I'm hoping that you'll look at that. I'm also hoping you look at one other thing. This town doesn't need 3-story buildings. I think we should have an emergency ordinance put in place as soon as possible to prevent all 3-story structures and to put a limit on what our fire department here can handle. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Late in the first row here.
This gentleman wanted to speak a couple times.
And we'll get this gentleman right here.
Mr. Mayor, Town Council, I'm Carolyn Strickroth. I live on Grove Lane. And first, I would like to thank you for supporting us in the previous 2 attempts to stop these apartments, I guess is the best way to just say it. But there's one question that we have. How and when did the Assisted Living LLC become Brook Apartments? We have been unable to find any documentation regarding that. And when they applied for the 192 units in 2018, and then they applied again for the 152 units just last October, we still have not found where they were granted in writing the original 99 units. And we would like to know that information. If someone could help us, direct us, or if you might know. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Good evening, City Council, Mr. Mayor. I'll be short. We'll take a breath. It's not the
And your
thing.
name is, sir?
My name is James Brumbaugh, and I live here in Chino Valley, and I'm having a problem with cats. Now, I have talked and went around. I've seen the ladies at the Chamber of Commerce. I've been to the police department. I've been to animal control, and I found out that there's nothing regarding cats. But my little puppy dog, I gotta keep him on a leash if I take him out. I gotta carry bags, I gotta pick up behind him, and that's great. I understand that. But where I live, out by where the old airport used to be, and I have 22 cats attacking my front porch. They have sprayed every piece of furniture I have out there. I pick up and dig cat feces up in my yard, and I've talked to animal, nothing we can do about it because there's nothing on the books. Well, I thought about that, and I says, if we do one simple thing, take what's on the books and say, cats and dogs, as well as dogs. Let's bring the feline owners, which I have nothing against. Bring them in, let's make them control their animals as we do with our dogs. Simple. So that's why I'm here.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor, Town Council, my name is Regina Pecoraro. I actually just have good news for you in a sense, but also wanted to let the town know, starting tomorrow, we have a group coming in, Desert Brutality. It's approximately 350 competitors that are going to be competing up at our shooting range. With that, 19 start tomorrow. The theme is World War II. So they're going to be sleeping thanks to Park and Rec, camping out, dry camping over at the baseball fields out on Perkinsville. They will be utilizing, we've been allowed to use the police department range for check-in in the classroom. They're using that range. They're going to be hiking up full gear, so we're not going back in time or anything else. They're going to be competing up there. Tomorrow's 19. Thursday is 93, 100 plus Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We have a food truck that is out there, Hungry Badger. Food truck will be out there in order to serve some food to the guys out there. Worked with the town council. We've got, or excuse me, the chamber. We've got discounts for a lot of the businesses that are here for these gentlemen to use. Tombstone, Lucy's, Insurgent, and a few other restaurants for them. But I just wanted to let you know as well, the public range is open to the public. We are stopping all of the Desert Brutality parking from going up to the range. They will have to go on foot. Parking will be for our customers and for people to utilize the public bays. So I just wanted to give you that information to let you know, and we'll give you an update on how everything went afterwards.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's a boon to our economy to bring those folks in. Thanks. Yes, ma'am, right here.
Hi and good evening, Mr. Mayor and members of the Town Council. My name is Cindy Cole. I live on Grove Lane. I'm sure you're all aware of how myself and my neighbors are in a position or opposition to the Brook Apartments due to the density, the noise, traffic, etc. However, my main question, one I can't get out of my head, it keeps coming up. Why? Why is this happening? We're all Americans, citizens, communities, neighbors, and friends. What happened to treating others with respect, listening to them, empathizing with them, and working things out where everyone can be happy? I look around, I see thousands of acres, which would be a perfect location for apartments, not in a custom neighborhood where the developers had certain criteria to keep this a well above average neighborhood. Why do this to our street? Why do this to our neighborhood? Why ruin our dreams? Why ruin our lives?
Thank you. One more, please. Come on up. You're a familiar face.
Yeah. Whoa. That's loose. There we go. Ryan Roberts, been here before. I had a couple things I wanted to touch on. One of the things after last council meeting over the land split debacle, 2 days after that, I was accused of doing some illegal splits. I was accused of buying a piece of land, splitting it 3 times, then selling a piece to myself, and then trying to split that, which is far from the truth, and I didn't know if any of that got passed on to the council. I just wanted to clear my name, make sure everybody knew that that wasn't true. And so after further review at the town, they realized their mistake, and I just didn't know if that got corrected up the ladder. So I wanted to touch on that. I also got an email talking about land splits. I'm not going to split any more land in this town, but at least not for myself. I'm a land surveyor at trade, So a lot of my clients are looking to split land. I don't know how to advise them. I asked for clarification. I got an email. And I'm guessing probably the response here in about 5-10 minutes is going to touch on the same state statute. As far as streets, in the state statute, under street, it does mention easements. And they're saying in the state statute that if a street is created and two parcels are created on both sides of that, that it is defined as a subdivision, and that's going to be the standard here in the town, which would be the first time it's been a standard in this town, and the first time it's been a standard in any town in this state. And the reason why is because it's not true. The qualifying comment in the state statute is fixed by a recorded plat. Under the definition of street, it says a street in a plat duly recorded at the county. The definition of plat is a map of a subdivision. It's not a land split. Land splits get recorded on a land survey, which is grossly different than a plat. A subdivision plat has to go through approval processes, and it's just grossly different. So any of these streets that aren't on a duly recorded plat aren't under the definition of subdivision. I don't know where we're going to go from here, but I mean, it's just, this will be the only town that's the standard. It's not the standard in Prescott. It's not the standard in Dewey Humboldt, and not in Prescott Valley or any city or town that I've worked in this whole state. So we need to work from there and work with people and not try to, we're accused of finding loopholes in the subdivision. And really it's the town finding loopholes to stop our land splits, which we have a right to do. And so that's my biggest issue, is the only way we can get a land split, which is our rights to do, we have to first sue the town to achieve our right to split the land. And I'd really hate to see that. Thank you.
Thank you, Ryan.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Beth, come on up.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and Council. My name is Beth Vickery. I am an Eagle Level Frontier Girl, and my current project is in fundraiser for the 9/11 Memorial Plaque. I have exciting news to share with you regarding that. Our first $85 was collected at National Night Out last fall. Then I happened to meet Nicole Bidwell, whose family owns the Arizona Cardinals. She donated $100 to the fund and had offered the team's assistance in this project. A local business owner had pledged his support in the fundraiser as well. I am beginning working with Chief Wynn on the design of the plaque. I am working with a local fire crew on the develop of the fundraiser, and we are looking for a venue to hold it. We will need a large athletic facility for the event. With the support of our state sports teams, I anticipate that we will be able to hold a very successful event, and with the support of our community, we will be able to have this much needed plaque in the next year. If anyone would like more information, my mother and I have set up a Facebook page today to help connect our community to my efforts. It is called 9/11 Memorial of Chino Valley. Thank you for supporting this important project.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, and thank you for the work that you've done. Okay, anybody that spoke this evening, the answer to that, these responses will come back on the February 11th council meeting. Okay, let's move on to item 4, response to the public. Response to the public is an opportunity for the mayor to inform the public about how town officials address matters raised during call to the public at a previous meeting. And this is a response to the public for public comment received during the January 14, 2020 regular council meeting. Staff placed all lot split applications on hold to evaluate what appeared to be violations of the subdivision ordinance. Multiple property owners were acting in concert to split their land in a series of lot splits that would have created the first 9 lots of a 32-lot development. These lots lacked the necessary subdivision infrastructure, including streets, curbs, gutters, sidewalk grading, and drainage plans, or any connection to wet utilities that are located in Center Street adjacent to the development. The town has invested taxpayer money in providing and extending water and sewer throughout the town. These serial lot splits undermine the town's ability to connect lots to existing utilities and to ensure purchaser of the lots have safe, reliable streets and all-weather access to vital public safety services. After evaluating all of the pending applications, the town has processed those lot split applications that do not create new subdivision, while those that were part of the group creating an unimproved subdivision were denied. Going forward, the town will require all lot splits that create a street, which includes an easement, to go through the subdivision process. This will help protect the infrastructure investment made by taxpayers and personal investments of purchasers of lots. Thank you very much. Let's go on to item 5, current events, summaries, and reports. This item is for information only. The mayor, any council member, or town manager may present a brief summary or report of current events. If listed below, they may also be a presentation on information requested by the mayor and council, and questions may be answered, no action will be taken. Item A is status reports by mayor and council regarding current events.
I got one for you, Mayor.
Okay, thank you.
Last council meeting, you saw a bunch of pages and what have you. I'd like to show you our books are complete. They're available at the library, the senior center, at town, and they'll be available at the Chamber of Commerce, and they're only $30 a piece.
Lot of information inside. It covers a lot of areas, so that's a pretty good price. Okay, anybody else in the council have anything? Anybody else over here? Okay. Town manager has nothing. Wow. Let's go on to item B is status report by town manager. What the hell is your name?
Cecilia.
Cecilia Gritman.
There you go.
Wow. It's been a long day. Regarding town accomplishments and current or upcoming projects. Okay, let's have a status report by Development Services Director Joshua Cook regarding building permits statistics and Unified Development Ordinance updates.
Thank you, Mayor and Council.
Good evening, Josh.
Good evening. I have a brief presentation of the second quarter. I've left the first quarter in there for comparison. So total residential permits issued for this second quarter of fiscal year 2020 is 93, so we're down from the first quarter. There were 9 commercial permits issued, so it's roughly the same, a little bit less. The total valuation of the projects, though, was increased a little bit more than $1 million to $7.15 million. Total number of citations issued was 21. So the number of citations has gone up, but the total number of code cases opened has gone down to 68. Neighborhood meetings, we did not have any neighborhood meetings this past quarter. We've had one UDO amendment, which is being presented to you in just a few minutes, hopefully a few minutes. Rezones, we've had 2 lot splits, we've had 3, site plan review 9, engineering driveway permits, we've issued 6, engineering grading permits, we've issued 2, sign permits, we've issued 12 of those, and then the land use permits such as sheds and whatnot, we've issued 3. Did you have any questions?
Questions?
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Joy. Okay, let's go on to item 6, consent agenda. All these items listed below are considered to be routine, may be enacted by one motion. Any council member may request to remove an item from the consent agenda to be considered and discussed separately. Do we have anyone who would like to remove a consent agenda item?
Not me.
How about this side? Can we have a motion then to approve?
I move we approve consent agenda items 6A, B, and C.
Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Let's go on to item 7, action items. The council may vote to recess the public meeting and hold an executive session on any item on the agenda pursuant to ARS 38-431-03A3 for the purpose of discussion or consultation for legal advice with the town attorney. The executive session is not open to the public and no action may be taken in an executive session. Let's go to item A. Consideration possible action to amend the Unified Development Ordinance Section 2 definitions, subsection 3.15 DCL light commercial temporary uses, and section 4.21 sign regulations by adding modified definitions and modifying provision relating to temporary signs. The text amendment, Mr. Cook.
That wasn't a few minutes, so that's good.
That was quick.
While they're pulling up the text of the changes in the text, we brought this to you back in October for a study session where we met with all of the business owners that attended that study session, and staff received direction from the town council with regard to how to go forward with that. With legal counsel, staff drafted the text changes as proposed and recommended by the town council. And as there was no study session in November, we brought it back December 10th. In December 10th, town council gave us the go-ahead for the language that we had proposed. So we published notification and held the first public hearing for the Planning Commission January 7th. At the same time, we published notification to hold this public hearing so that we could bring it before you as quickly as possible. The changes, there were minor changes when the Planning Commission met, and based on conversations with Mr. Payne and myself, we added a few words here and there and deleted a couple words in order for clarification or clarity's sake. Those changes were the ones that were in green in your packets. So, for instance, in sign auxiliary, as you can see up here, instead of just an A-frame sign and a feather sign for auxiliary signage, we felt it really should include pennants and banners as well. So we made that clarification. Sign banners, we added in here. It could be a temporary sign or an auxiliary signage, so it would be both. If you want, I can go through all the text. We've been through it. We've seen it. If you have questions about the green text, I can answer that. But
Let's see if we have any questions for the council and then.
Sure.
Nope. Questions?
Can you explain what the difference is between temporary and auxiliary?
Yeah, so the temporary signs are the ones that are placed up while they wait for their permanent sign to go up. Once the permanent sign goes up, all businesses are allowed their auxiliary signage without a permit. And that auxiliary signage, if you're in a commercial zone, is 48 square feet. And if you're in like a multifamily, so for a church that's in a multifamily, they'd be allowed 24 square feet. If they're in a commercial, they're allowed 48, or 24 and then 48.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Any questions?
No, sir.
Questions on this side? Yes.
I just want to clarify, when we spoke in all of these meetings, and just, please, correct me if I'm wrong. My understanding is that if a business were to open, they would apply for a temporary sign. They would have that as, sign for 6 months and then be required to have a permanent sign. Once they have the permanent sign, then they are automatically given the leeway to have the auxiliary sign.
That is
a
correct. Yep,
Thank
that's
you.
correct.
And the Planning and Zoning Commission did recommend forwarding this to the council.
They recommended approval to the council unanimously with the green modification changes.
And why don't you give me a motion, please?
Okay, I'll make a motion that we adopt ordinance 2020-878 to amend the Unified Development Ordinance Section 2 definition, subsection 3.15D, CL like commercial temporary uses, and section 4.21 sign regulations by adding, modifying definitions and modifying provisions related to temporary signs, the text amendment.
Second.
Mayor, may I interrupt?
Sure.
We had to amend that emotion. You all received a memo
Yes.
at your places before the meeting with a recommended updated motion because we had to restructure the ordinance.
Oh, okay, I found it.
Okay, does anybody have any questions about that reorganization of the ordinance?
Okay, you ready for me to rescind and start again?
Yes, you can withdraw your motion.
Okay.
Okay, let's withdraw the motion.
Okay,
Okay.
and now I want to make a separate
Now you
motion.
make a motion.
Yes.
Okay, I make a motion we adopt ordinance 2020-878, adopting by reference the amendments to the Town of Chino Valley Unified Development Ordinance, temporary sign provisions dated January 28th, 2020, and amending the Chino Valley Town Code Title 15, Land Usage, Chapter 154, Unified Development Ordinance to replace portions of the UDO relating to temporary signs.
Now do I have a second?
Yes.
Now I have a second. A motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Your turn.
Thank you.
Lon, it's your turn.
It's my turn?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I make a motion, we adjourn.
Second. Second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned.
Man,
All right.
Cecilia,
I don't think so.
apologize. You did what I asked.